Hey everyone, welcome back to Elemental Cartomancy. Today I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of Tarot Oscuro. Okay, so Tarot Oscuro comes, first of all, it's by Estelle Riviere, and it comes in this beautiful hard box, magnetic flip box. I feel as though, um, you know, publishers are really catching on with the tarot boxes these days. Um, Most, if not all, decks that I've bought, in recent months are well packaged. So that is quite good. It comes with a decent guidebook. If I just let you see some of the content, so you get in different languages, and it's given it even just if you look at the English part, it's given us quite a good bit of information on each card. Um, so yeah, pretty happy with that. I just want to make this a quick kind of a flip through, and I might comment on, some of the cards as we're going through them. Um, Here are the backs of the deck. Now I might have to kind of lift cards up and whatnot, depending on what the light's doing. It looks like because this is quite a glossy laminated deck. So as you can see, my lighting situation is just loving it. It comes edged in black, which is really nice. Um, And I think size wise, um, okay, so we're a bit bigger than the standard US games. So you can see it's a fair bit taller and broader than your standard Smith-Wesson US games type size. Okay, so we have our full, and apologies if I'm not holding this kind of a steady. I know sometimes it can be quite annoying watching a walkthrough when the cards are just being held. I'll try and keep them as steady as I can as I go through them. Like I say, it's just because of the lighting. I wonder if there's somewhere I could move it on the table where you'll be able to see it a bit better. Magician, or High Priestess, Empress, who I said it right away when Simon showed this deck when I was live with him. This looks like Jenna from Jennifer Ball's Witch House to me, like right away, um, which is fantastic. The Emperor, got the Green Man feels here. A Hierophant. I should say just before I come to any kind of a graphic cards that some of the cards in this deck do depict quite it can be quite graphic in terms of genitalia, in terms of sexual imagery. So I'm just letting you know just now. Our lovers card, Chariot, Justice. It's quite different. The Hermit, Wheel of Fortune, Strength. So in this deck we had Justice at 8 and Strength at 11. So following the old Marseille pattern, suppose it's not really the Marseille pattern, it was weight that switched them round, so everything that came before Smithwaite. I can see why he did. Hanged Man. Lovely death card. The Death's Head Moth. You see the sun rising as well, which is nice. Temperance. The Devil. Would not want to be him. Or her, I suppose. The Tower. Star. The Moon. Sun. Judgment. And our World card. And our set of wands, we have the Ace. Or two. You can see it's quite Smithwaite feels to it. At least in some of the cards it does, in this one particularly. There's three, continuing in the Smithwaite feel here. So I'm starting to come on now. Three. Or four. Five. Or six. This is obviously quite a bit different from your usual Six of Wands card. We do have the wreath down the bottom here. Seven. This, to be honest, this just feels more like an exalted five to me. Feels more like Five of Wands energy than seven energy. I suppose they're both kind of they both speak of challenges. The eight. That's an interesting choice for the Eight of Wands because normally we associate the Eight of Wands, particularly in the Smithwaite deck, as being that card about momentum and action, change, movement. You don't necessarily get that so much from this. Or nine. And the 10. I love the artwork is really good in this deck, I think. Got a page. Or knight. Or queen. And we have our king. Pretty cool. Suit of swords, we have an ace. Our two. Three of swords. Four. Five. Six. Seven. Eight of swords. Nine of swords. And 10. Page. Knight. Or queen. And our king. Ace of cups. Two. I love what they've done here. I think that's really cool. Three. Four. Five of cups. Six. Seven. Eight. Nine. Yeah. This reminds me of Harley Quinn from Batman. Or from Suicide Squad if you've seen that. The 10. Really bizarre card that. I suppose that's the point. A page of cups. Our knight. Our queen. And our king. Davy Jones feels here. Ace of pence. Two. Three. Very, if you've seen American Horror Story, is it Circus? Freak Show. Freak Show is what it's called. The name of the series, that is. Um, the kind of a killer clown from that. This puts me in mind of him. Four of pence. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the 10. Page of Pentacles. And Knight. So the Knight of Pentacles has this horse-shaped face, and yet they're upon a horse. Queen. Scary Queen. And last but not least, our King of Pentacles. Okay guys, in terms of shuffling this deck, so riffle shuffling it works. The only thing that you would have to bear in mind is that it's going to chip the black edges, as you can see, has already started to happen with mine. I'm fine with that, but you might not like the aesthetic of it being worn and stuff. So if you're wanting the edges to stay perfect, then I would overhand shuffle it very carefully. Although it's a wee bit bigger than your standard Smith weight, it does overhand nicely. At least it does for me. Okay. One thing that I didn't say before that you should bear in mind if you're buying this deck, the book does not come with any spreads. It relies on the user to go away and find spreads of your own. So that's just something to bear in mind. We're not getting any spreads in the guidebook for this deck. Um, I thought we could just take a look at some advice for the next day or two. So we'll do a 3-card pool. We'll do strengths, weaknesses, and advice. We'll get 3 major cards. Okay, so advice. Okay, so it looks as though, to me, it looks as though the next day or two, this weekend, it's some time when we're going to have to look for some help. We're going to have to accept help. Our strength appears to be seeking help from outside ourselves. The star is that kind of a hope and that guidance that someone else brings into our situation. The chariot, on the other hand, which is coming up in the weakness position, is how well we drive our own lives forward. Okay, so if we're going to try and be completely independent and do absolutely everything ourselves, then we're not going to do so well. It doesn't look like that's our strong point this weekend. It looks as though it's going to be very much about focusing on that star card, focusing on those that want to help us, that want to offer guidance and offer hope and help us round whatever situations might come up. The advice card coming up is the moon, and that's kind of a learning to accept the situation that you're in for what it is. It might require a certain amount of change and transformation on our part. Okay, so we actually see the kind of a change happening in front of us there with the lobster slash person. In his journey, the fool is required to change. When it comes to the moon, he's required to transform. Um, Change his outlook, change aspects of himself. And only when he can learn to do that can he navigate that difficult terrain that is the moon card. because that represents the unconscious. It represents unfamiliarity. It represents kind of it's like having everything turned upside down on yourself. It's like none of the usual rules apply. That's what's happening when we're in moon territory. So the message of the moon and the advice that the moon gives us is to accept the situation for what it is, and learn to navigate that terrain with those new rules in mind. Okay, so if you land on Mars, you don't try and go about it as though the normal rules of gravity apply. You need to kind of learn how the rules of gravity work on Mars. Um, Probably not a scientifically correct thing to say whatsoever, but I think you know what I'm getting at, and you know what I'm meaning. So we need to learn how to kind of navigate this weekend, um, given the situation that we're in, and not try and kind of scrape it back to maybe what we're more used to. Okay, remember to accept help. Remember to accept help from those around about us, and from the, the people and the things that we've already got under our belt. That's where we want to look. If we're going to try and have this attitude of, if I want it done right, I need to do it myself, then we're more than likely not going to have a productive weekend. We're probably not going to do so well. Okay. But accept that help because it does appear to be there for us. And yeah, I think that's what I see in those cards. And this was just a wee sample to let you see how the cards read and let you see them laid out next to each other and whatnot. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I shall speak to you all later. Bye bye.